the entire congregation, all were perfect, ready to enter the land. There was not among them even one of those upon whom the decree had been pronounced, for all those destined to die in the desert had already perished. Numbers chapter 20. 22. They traveled from Kadesh, and the entire congregation of the children of Israel arrived at Mount Hor. The entire congregation, all were perfect, ready to enter the land. There was not among them even one of those upon whom the decree had been pronounced, for all those destined to die in the desert had already perished, and these were of those about whom it is written, "You are all alive this day." Deuterium 4:4, Midrash Tanchuma Chukat 14, Number Rabbah 19:16. Mount Hor, a mountain atop a mountain, appearing like a small apple atop a big apple. Although the cloud went in front of them and leveled out mountains, 3 of them remained: Mount Sinai for the giving of the Torah, Mount Nebo for the burial of Moses, and Mount Hor for the burial of Aaron. Midrash Tanchuma Chukat 14, Number Rabbah 19:16. 23. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron at Mount Hor, on the border of the land of Edom, saying, on the border of the land of Edom. This teaches that because they associated themselves in a close relationship with the wicked Esau, a breach was made in their accomplishments, and they lost this righteous man. Similarly, the prophet said to Jehoshaphat, when you joined up with Ahaziah, God has breached your accomplishments. 2 Chronicles 20:37. Midrash Tanchuma Chukat 14, Number Rabbah 19:16. 24. Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not come to the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you defied my word at the waters of dispute Meribah. 25. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son and ascend Mount Hor. Take Aaron, with words of solace, say to him, you are fortunate that you can see your crown given over to your son, something I do not merit. Midrash Tanchuma Chukat 17, Number Rabbah 19:19. 26. Strip Aaron of his garments and dress Eleazar his son with them. Then Aaron shall be gathered into his people and die there. His garments, he dressed him in the garments of Kahuna Gedolah and then stripped him of them, to give them to his son in his presence. He told him, enter the cave, and he entered. He saw a ready-made bed, and a lighted candle. He told him, get up onto the bed, and he got up. Stretch out your hands, and he stretched them out. Close your mouth, and he closed it. Shut your eyes, and he shut them. At that moment Moses yearned for such a death. This is why it was said to him, in the way Aaron your brother died. Deuterium 32:50, a death that you desired. Tanchuma Buber p. 132, Sifrei Hayazinu 49. 27. Moses did as the Lord commanded him. They ascended Mount Hor in the presence of the entire congregation. Moses did, although it was difficult for him, he did not hesitate. Midrash Tanchuma Chukat, Number Rabbah 19:19. 28. Moses then stripped Aaron of his garments and dressed Eleazar his son in them, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar descended from the mountain. 29. The whole congregation saw that Aaron had expired, and the entire house of Israel wept for Aaron for 30 days. The whole congregation saw, when they saw Moses and Eleazar coming down, and Aaron did not come down, they said, where is Aaron? He said to them, he died. They said, is it possible that the one who stood up against the angel and stopped the plague can be overpowered by the angel of death? Whereupon Moses asked for mercy, and the ministering angels showed him to them, lying in the bed. They saw him and believed. Midrash Tanchuma Chukat 17, Number Rabbah 19:20. The entire house of Israel, both the men and the women, for Aaron had pursued peace, he promoted love between disputing parties and between man and wife. Avithdir Rabbi Nathan 12:4, Midigata. That Aaron had expired, Heb. I say that the one who renders, because Aaron had died, is in error, unless he also renders, as, they the congregation were seen in the sense of exposed, For our rabbi's statement that the word Hebrew is used here in the sense of because applies only according to the Midrash, which states that the clouds of glory departed, and as our Abayu said, do not read, they saw, but, they were seen exposed. According to this explanation, because is appropriate, since it gives the reason for what precedes it. Why were they exposed? Because Aaron had died and the clouds had departed. But, according to the Targum's rendering, and the whole congregation saw, the rendering of the word as because is inapplicable, only it has the meaning of that which is a usage of the word, for we find that its Hebrew equivalent can mean that, as in, so that, why should I not be short of breath? Job 21:4. And there are many other instances of the word in this sense, as in that, his days are limited, Ibid 14:5. Numbers chapter 21. 1. The Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the south, heard that Israel had come by the route of the spies, and he waged war against Israel and took from them a captive. The Canaanite he heard that Aaron had died and that the clouds of glory had departed, as is stated in Tractate Rosh Hashanah, 3a. Amalek was always a chastising whip for Israel, ready at any time to mete out punishment. Midrash Tanchumit Chukat 18, Number Rabbah 19:20. Who lived in the south, this refers to Amalek, as it says, the Amalekites dwell in the south land, 13:29. They changed their language to speak in the language of Canaan so that the Israelites would pray to the Holy One, blessed is he, to deliver the Canaanites into their hands, and since they were not Canaanites their prayers would have no effect. But Israel saw that they were dressed like Amalekites though they spoke in a Canaanite tongue. So they said, we will pray generally for success, as it says, if you deliver this people into my hand. Midrash Agada, Yakut Shimoni from Midrash Yelam Medanu. Note that in these sources, the Amalekites changed their dress as well, and that version is found also in the Regio edition of Rashi. The Yemenite manuscript, however, conforms with our reading. See Chavel FN 87, Yosef Halil, Leket Bayer FN. See also Number Rabbah 19:20. The route of the spies, Hebrew, the southern route, taken by the spies, as it says, they went up in the south, 13:22. Another interpretation, the route of the great guide the ark, which went ahead of them, as it says, traveled 3 days ahead of them to seek for them a place to settle, 10:33. Midrash Tanchumit Chukat 18, Number Rabbah 19:20. And took from them a captive, it was only a single maidservant. Midrash Agada, Yakut Shimoni from Midrash Yelam Medanu. 2. Israel made a vow to the Lord, and said, if you deliver this people into my hand, I shall consecrate their cities. I shall consecrate their spoils to heaven. 3. The Lord heard Israel's voice and delivered the Canaanite. He destroyed them and consecrated their cities, and he called the place Hormah. He destroyed them, by execution. And their cities, he consecrated them to heaven. 4. They journeyed from Mount Hor by way of the Red Sea to circle the land of Edom, and the people became disheartened because of the way. By way of the Red Sea, since Aaron had died, and this war had come upon them, they turned back to the Red Sea route, which is the route they returned to after the decree because of the sin of the spies had been issued against them, as it says, and journey into the desert by way of the Red Sea, Deuterium 1:40. Here they went back 7 stations, as it says, the children of Israel journeyed from the wells of Beni Ayakan to Mosera, there Aaron died, Ibid 10:6. Did he really die in Mosera? Did he not die at Mount Hor? However, there in Mosera they again mourned for him and eulogized him, as if he had died in their presence. Go and study the stations, and you will find that there were 7 stations between Mosera and Mount Hor. Midrash Tanchumit Chukat 18, Seder Olam ch 9. To circle the land of Edom, since they did not allow them to pass through their land. And the people became disheartened because of the way, because of the hardship of traveling, which was hard for them. They said, now we were so close to entering the land, and we are turning back. So did our fathers turn back and remain for 38 years, until today. Therefore, they became disheartened by the hardship of traveling. In Old French, incrutelor, or incrutelor, it discouraged them. It is, however, incorrect to say that the people became disheartened, meaning while on the way, without explaining what caused them to become disheartened, for whenever literally, shortness of spirit is mentioned in Scripture, the cause of the discouragement is specified, as in, I could not tolerate them, Zech 11:8, and as in, he felt distressed because of the misery of Israel. Jude 10:16. Anything difficult for a person to bear is called. Like a person who is beset with trouble, and his mind is not composed enough to accept it. There is no place in his heart for the distress to settle. The thing causing the distress is described as large since it is too large for him and weighs heavily on him, as in, and their souls also loathed me, Zech 11:8, they were too much for me and it is so great, that you hunt me like a lion, Job 10:16. In summary, the expression shortness of spirit, for a thing, means that it is intolerable, and the mind cannot bear it. 5. The people spoke against God and against Moses, Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in this desert, for there is no bread and no water, and we are disgusted with this rotten bread. Against God and against Moses, they equated the servant with his master. Midrash Tanchumah Chukat 19, Number Rabbah 19:21. Why have you brought us up? Both of them were considered equal. And we are disgusted, Hebrew. This too denotes intolerance and loathing. With this rotten bread, since the manna was absorbed into their limbs and not excreted from their bowels, they called it rotten, Mizraki, or cursed, according to Gur Ariat. They said, this manna will eventually swell up in our stomachs. Is there any mortal who ingests but does not excrete? Yuma 75b, see Rashi there. 6. The Lord sent against the people the venomous snakes, and they bit the people, and many people of Israel died. The venomous snakes, Hebrew, lit. The burning snakes, so named because they burn a person with the venom of their fangs. Midrash Tanchumah Chukat 19, Number Rabbah 19:22. And they bit the people, let the snake, which was smitten for speaking evil to Eve, come and punish those who spread slander about the manna. Let the snake, for which all types of food taste the same, come and punish those ingrates, for whom one thing the manna changes into various tastes. Midrash Tanchumah Chukat 19, Number Rabbah 19:22. 7. The people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he remove the snakes from us. So Moses prayed on behalf of the people. So Moses prayed. From here we learn that someone who is asked to forgive, should not be so cruel so as not to forgive. Midrash Tanchumah Chukat 19, Number Rabbah 19:23. 8. The Lord said to Moses, Make yourself a serpent and put it on a pole, and let whoever is bitten look at it and live. On a pole, heb. On a post, perche in French. Similarly, and like a flagpole, on a hill, Isa 30:17, will I raise my standard, Ibid 49:22, raise a banner, Ibid 13:2. Since it stands high, and serves as a signal and is to be seen, it is called, a sign. Whoever is bitten, even if a dog or a donkey bit him, he would suffer injury and steadily deteriorate, but a snake bite would kill quickly. That is why it says here regarding other bites, we'll look at it a mere glance. But regarding the snake bite it says he would gaze and whenever a snake bit a man, he would gaze, verse 9, for the snake bite would not heal unless one gazed at it the copper snake intently, Yer. Rh 3:9. Our rabbis said, does a snake cause death or life? However, when Israel looked heavenward and subjected their hearts to their Father in heaven, they would be healed, but if not, they would waste away. Rh 29a. 9. Moses made a copper snake and put it on a pole, and whenever a snake bit a man, he would gaze upon the copper snake and live. A copper snake, he was not told to make it of copper, but Moses said, the Holy One, blessed is he, called it a snake, so I will make it of copper, one term similar to the other term. Mid General Rabba 1931:8.